Jeffrey spends all of his day stationary on his computer chair. That's it. That's all he does. Adonis wanders. He explores the realms and the enemy tribes, and he takes their women. Humans have always been adventurers. So welcome to a brief history of bro science. I'm gonna tell you what our ancestors did in the very bro science. Don't fucking quote me on this, man. Okay, we started in Africa. Eventually, the alpha males were distinguished. The guys with the highest testosterone, the highest, fierce, most powerful, most adventurous, most confident. They weren't happy staying in the same tribe all their life. And so they wanted to explore to different lands, the far, far away. And so with each and every generation, they would go further and further and further and further. After some time, we conquered everywhere. We went to every part of the earth, even places like Australia, which are so far away. I want you to think right now of what life was like a few thousand years ago when there was ships and pirates without the internet. They literally had to use maps. They literally had treasures like gold and imagine being on a ship back then. Imagine exploring on a horse back then. All of that without the internet, without even knowing where you were truly going. And in this day and age, we don't even knock on our friends' doors anymore. We don't have the confidence for that. We literally just stay outside and just message them hey, I'm outside. If Google Maps isn't working, we're fucked. We literally need Google Maps to go to a new spot in the same city that we live in. We don't explore. We don't go on adventures, and there's a reason why mental health is really taking a toll on most people during COVID, because you're literally spending all day in the same room on the same chair if only I knew what it was like to be a proper human. I invite you to do a little visualization exercise with me. Close your eyes, bitch. Close your eyes and start zooming out of your life. Look at yourself from third person. Imagine you a little ghost in the corner of the room. You just see yourself sitting with shitty posture. And now you've just straightened your posture. You're seeing yourself from the corner of your room. Now move this ghost, move this view. Go outside of your house and now just keep going up and up and up and keep just expanding. You can now see through every single wall. You can see every single person. Keep on going up. Keep seeing everyone, every single human. What are they doing? Open your eyes. How different is that compared to our ancestors who goes on adventures? And we complain about mental health, we complain about depression, we complain about unhappiness and loneliness, and we don't do anything. We sit at our computer chairs and our phones and we literally just waste away. What human did this a few thousand years ago? That's why we don't feel alive. We don't explore, we don't go on adventures, but you can start. But Hamza, the COVID lockdown. Shut up, bro. I'm tired of people using the COVID lockdown for an excuse for everything about, but the COVID, Hamza, I can't work out, I can't meditate during the lockdown. Shut up, bro. You do realize, okay, an adventure doesn't mean that you have to go far. It just means that you go somewhere new. Now, here's something that might hurt your ego. Within a mile radius of your house, there are many places that you've never seen before. You might have lived in the same place for many years, and there's literally just a street that you've never went down before. There's a tree that you've never even looked at within 100 steps of your house. You've never even looked at this tree before. That's what adventure, that's what exploration is. When I created this mindset for myself, I imagined the Grand Theft Auto map where it's all dark and black up until you go and get into the new place and then it lights up. And so imagine your city, and imagine at least a mile or two away from your house, there's so many random spots which are just dark. You've never stepped foot in a bunch of places next to your house. You've never even looked at so much stuff, so much beauty, which is so close to you. I started doing this about a year ago, and out of nowhere, out of the depressive period of being so upset, it was like my childhood excitement came back. It literally felt like I was exploring again. There is a specific reason why taking little trips fills us with excitement. It's mindfulness. When you explore, when you go on an adventure and you see something new for the first time in your life, you are so mindful. That's why we love it so much. So answer this question truthfully. Don't lie. Don't be a little bitch. How much exploring have you done recently? Now, don't just say, oh, well, I go on a walk sometimes. I went on a run 3 weeks ago. No. How many new places, how much new stuff have you seen? How many new places have you been to? It's time to change that. And now here is the best practical advice I could give you to start acting like an adventurer again. Literally, and all the guys who are trying to make muscle and, they're into weightlifting and shit, they're going to be pissed off at this advice for some reason. If you're one of those guys to just know, I want to slap the shit out of you because you're a dumbass. The practical advice is to get into long distance cardio. I cannot recommend it enough. Don't be one of those, cardio, shut up, bro. You vibed with this video, especially because I brought in the ancestor thing about, you know, like our early humans, this is what they did. Well, guess what the early humans also did? Did they fucking take an Uber everywhere, dumbass? Did they sit down all day? No, they did long distance cardio. They got to eat because they would run for half an hour at a time, chasing down the animal. We are long distance runners. And the same, okay, we've got the same ability to do any kind of long distance cardio. So get into long distance cardio. Start going on long walks very consistently. Start going on long jogs. Start cycling or going on hikes. It's with these habits, this long distance cardio, that you'll start to go on adventures by yourself consistently. And start specifically going on these little, you know, cardio trips specifically for the trip, specifically for the adventure, not just for cardio. Because too often people will just go for a run and just stay with the places they go because, you know, it's more efficient to run in this particular route. No. Start going out purposely to go see new places. Now, a side benefit to this is that, yeah, your cardio is going to get better. You're going to lose more weight. Fantastic. And you can do all this in the middle of the lockdown. You can just go on like a bike ride. I don't know what the lockdown rules are. I don't watch the news, but I'm sure that you can just go on a run outside. I'm sure that you can go on to like a little bike ride for a couple of miles. And the purpose, like specific mindset, is that we're not just going to keep going to the places that you've always been to. When when you've got like the ability to turn somewhere, think, I've never been there. It looks like I might have to just go up and then come back again. Do that. That mindset might put you off, where you think, okay, but it looks like a closed end, so I'm not going to go. No. When you see something that looks like a closed end, but you've never been down that route before, go. Because a lot of the time something looks closed, you get close and it's like, you know, there's some little fence and it's been like carved out or something, and you go through, you're in like some beautiful spot by yourself. There's so much to discover when you have this mindset, and it truly will make you feel alive. Do you know what? We could get deep, so let's do an unfiltered section. Sam, can we have the... Welcome to the unfiltered section. The video is now a couple of minutes long, so all of the people with short attention spans have clicked off. And if you're watching this far, you're probably like me enough that I can just talk completely unfiltered, so I'm going to start offending people and shit. So let's go. This was literally the cure to my depression. I remember the height of like the worst of my life. The height of my depression, the height of like how much I hated my life and how stressed I was exactly a year ago. It was in 2020, about February, March, April. Is a lack of adventure, a lack of acting like a normal, healthy human, not the cause of depression. A lot of people get like offended. It hurts their ego when you say something like that sentence, like, oh, the cause to your depression is because you don't go and do long distance cardio outside and you don't go and explore places. Because everyone wants to feel really special. They're like, oh, well, not me. My depression's genetic, and this happened to me. This happened to me. But this, honestly, what I found, we're getting real deep, so this is going to offend some people. What I found in my time coaching, I've helped 20 guys. I've helped 20 guys from depression. I write their names in this book, and it's soon to be 22 when I get them to retake the test. Let's say 20 guys from depression. What I found is that, honestly, it's going to hurt your ego. No one's problems are really that special. No one's problems are really that unique. It's honestly the truth. Everyone's came with a bit of ego. When I tell them what the plan is, and I tell them, yeah, within about 2 weeks, we're going to get rid of most of your depressive symptoms. They almost look with a little bit of insult and also like a little bit of slightly like resentment. Like even like our video editor Sam, even though he never actually said it, I felt like he had the same vibe where he's lived with this shit for a while. Now it's not even rare anymore. Most people have lived with like mild depression for most of their lives. And so I believe Sam has had it for a long time. When I told him, yeah, a couple of weeks, I'll tell you exactly what to do. If you can follow it as best as you can, a couple of weeks, and you'll make huge progress. I felt like he didn't believe me. And Sam, perhaps if you wouldn't mind, if you could have literally just a quick clip of you just summing it up. How long did it take?
What's up, boys? Yeah, so it's not that I didn't believe you, Hamza. It was more like I hadn't actually tried anything on my own, like, tuition before. I did what I was supposed to do, so like go to the GP, get medication, have counseling. So when I started work, self-employed, and the first client I got, he was making these videos and he was spitting mad facts, and then we get in a call and he's like, you know what, bro, I'll take you on as a student. Do this for a month and your depression will be cured. Yeah, my response was a little bit like, and it still is. I think, if I'm being honest, the time scale, it varies between each person. And to be fair, even now I'm still not like, you know, great with my self-improvement behavior tracking stuff. It's a work in progress. But in general, the mindset overhaul I've had over the past few months has been astonishing. Even my mom's commented on it. About 2 weeks ago, I got off my antidepressants, which makes me really happy. I've still got slight side effects, withdrawal from them. In the next few days, they should be completely gone now, so that's good. But yeah, there's a lot of factors as to why I feel the way I do now. And one of the main ones is for sure following Hamza's advice. I had like this massive overhaul of mindset because, guys, I've been living with like anxiety and depression for like 7 years. Wow. I say it like that, it's really depressing. I reached a point where I had had enough. It was my fuck you moment, and I decided I'm sick of it. I'm sick of missing out. I'm sick of letting my anxiety, depression hold me back. So I didn't let it. I started going out. Not going out as in going out, I mean literally just leaving the house. Baby steps, baby steps. By the way, a quick note on that. If someone is in the same spot that I was in, a dog is literally like hacking. You have a reason to go out every day, and you have a reason to approach people and talk to them every day if you have a dog. I started going out without a dog. I didn't have a dog at this point, so you can still do it. I'm waffling. I think my point is, there are many factors at play as to why I feel the way I do now. One of them, for sure, is following Hamza's advice and guidance. And also just a general, you know, Discord full of people who have very similar goals to me. I found that very helpful too. Anyway, I'm going to stop taking up this video. Back to you, Hammy.
What I've realized is that everyone has this individual idea of, no, my thing is different, my situation is different, my depression is different, my anxiety is different. You couldn't cure by exercise, meditating and journaling. Hamza, come on, that wouldn't help. It helps every single person. Literally every single person is cured when they do this stuff. I have such a dry view to it now. Someone says, Hamza, I'm depressed. I say, how often do you exercise, meditate, and journal? And they look annoyed because they've heard this advice so many times, and they say, it didn't even work for me. How often do you exercise, meditate, and journal? Oh, well, it's been a while since I exercised. I meditated, but it didn't even work. How many times did you meditate? Twice. What about journaling? Oh, yeah, I don't really know how to do it. There we go. That's why it didn't work for you, because you didn't even do it. Because we have this ego like, exercise, no, it wouldn't work for me. Going outside, seeing some nature. No, the reason why you've got depressive symptoms, the reason why you've got anxiety symptoms, it obviously does have some kind of genetic link. But the reason why you've got the symptoms of it, not just, you know, the brain stuff, but like the real life symptoms, is because you don't do these important activities. The title of this video is We Are Adventurers, Act Like It. When you don't act like an adventurer, when you don't act like a real human, your brain and your body won't treat you like one. How is your brain and your body going to treat you when you keep voluntarily keeping yourself inside? Like what human lives in a fucking cage like this? This experience of helping guys with mental health, and you know, I've experienced it myself. Literally, like, this is my 1 year transformation of the worst of my life to the height of my life. It took 1 year by doing the right actions. And honestly, like, not even a year, like, it's been a year, but most of the progress came in the first, like, 2 months, literally. And so that's why when people tell me, like, no, Hamza, I've got a therapist, I've lived with this for my entire life, I get so sad. And they usually think it's because of my ego that when I say, 2 to 3 weeks with me and it would change, they usually don't believe it. Because why would you? If you've literally had a therapist, you've literally experienced life with depression for years, and this dumbass little brown guy's coming up to you on coaching calls and saying, 2 to 3 weeks and your depression will be significantly reduced. We won't ever cure it because it is probably genetic and it is always going to have some kind of influence in your brain. But a couple of weeks and most of the symptoms that you experience will disappear. Most people don't believe it. A couple of weeks later, we get them to test again, and 50% of the symptoms have gone. And it's not magical. It's literally, like, I've said this in a few videos, it's not me. It's I know that I'm the one who's put them on it. I've helped them to do it, but it's literally all I'm doing is just almost forcing them to do exercise, meditation, journaling, and some kind of like hopefully going on a walk or reading or something. That's it. It's like literally the 4 behaviors that you should be doing as a healthy human. When you're not doing these type of behaviors, you don't feel like a healthy human. That's all it takes. And so this is such a huge step to go outside and to go on these adventures. This brings us to a quick little tip I'll give you if you're going to do this. Hopefully you're watching this and you're thinking, you know what, that sounds like a pretty good idea. Why not get outside more? And the practical advice that Hamza just said is actually really nice. Okay, if you get into long distance cardio, just start going on jogs and practicing and just jogging further, cycling, just cycling further and further and further. Eventually you're going to get to the point where within 5 miles, 5 kilometers of your area, you're going to be able to explore whenever you want. And so one quick little tip I'll give you to make it even better is what's called savoring. Savoring is something I learned from the Science of Wellbeing course, a course that I've recommended many times. Savoring is it's a form of gratitude where when you see something really nice and you want to savor the moment, you remind yourself. Any of these pictures and videos that you're currently seeing on my phone, I went to somewhere, and because I'm focusing more on the adventure and not the cardio, I often stop. I'm not doing cardio to challenge myself and to burn lots and lots of calories, even though it does. My purpose was to go and see just beautiful places. So I'd just go and run somewhere, be a few minutes, and I'd be like, oh, this is like a completely new spot. I'd stop for a minute, I'd take it in, and I'd like express gratitude for seeing it all. I'd go and take a picture, and that savors the moment. And that's why today, literally a year later, I can still look back and feel grateful for that moment. So I highly suggest you do this 2-step thing where 1, you just go and do more cardio, go and do long distance cardio where you can just go explore the city or the town around you, and 2, savor the moment. Don't think of it as like an intense cardio that you can't stop and you've got to be on high intensity. No. Go when you see something cute, when you see something nice and something, just stop, take some pictures, look around and smile. I'll have like a couple of the videos up so you can literally see, like a lot of the times I'm literally just smiling and I'm just like recording myself just like with the buildings or the whatever I'm next to. And you can take bigger trips too. So for the bigger trips you're going to need a car. And my sort of practical advice with this is obviously go with friends if you can. If you can't, then go with girls from Tinder.
I stole this bitch's car, bro. I'm off. In a bitch, fam.
This is by far like some of the best dating advice I could give you is, bro, every single guy is inviting these girls to do basic shit. Do you want to know how I stand out? I organize little adventures with them and it's very exciting. So you'll meet the girl, you'll get a little bit closer and closer together, and you'll start just organizing these little trips together. Hopefully she drives. So I don't drive, and so pretty much every girl that I get from Tinder, I just make sure that they drive so that we can go somewhere. And so it's literally like the night before the trip, the night before we're about to go somewhere. So I've got a couple of clips of like the places I've been. The night before, I'm literally so excited. I feel like a school kid, and we've got like a school trip like a little field trip the next day. I can barely even sleep. I'm like dreaming about what clothes I'm gonna wear and what food we're gonna get and like what music we'll listen to and how it's gonna be. That's what you want. This is like the really, really nice type of dates that you can go on. And sleeping with these girls in like weird locations, like in a cave or a forest, is a memorable experience. So, and finally, go by yourself. If you've got the means, if you've got the car or whatever, go by yourself to take the trip. It's a weird thing that I think my generation is not used to, is doing things by ourselves. We feel like we've always got to have like some kind of partner. We've always got to have someone with us. What I found is that you'll often have fantastic amounts of fun when you go by yourself. And what's even better is that when you go by yourself, 1, your confidence goes up, your problem solving goes up, your responsibility goes up. But one of the best things is that when you go to some kind of trip by yourself, you get to day game, you get to do cold approaches. And so I do pretty much all of my cold approaches on my cardio. So for cardio advice, again, specifically what I do, almost every single day I'll go on a walk. It's a behavior that I've got on my habit tracker, just as walk, but it's essentially like as soon as I get outside, I'm listening to an audiobook or some music, I literally just start jogging. And a lot of the times I'll just keep on jogging. I'll literally just keep on jogging and just keep on jogging. Before I know it, I've literally ran for an hour, and I've literally ran to like my city centre, the town centre here, and came back. And obviously on the way there's been so many people that I say hi to everyone, and I won't sugarcoat it, maybe like every run I usually try and direct approach one attractive girl, and that's been pretty nice. That's actually like the way that I've been able to approach without it feeling like it's actually taking up real time, because it's in the middle of cardio, it's in the middle of adventure and exploration. I wish I could convince you, just if you aren't fully convinced, I feel like you might be because you've been watching all this video so far, but if you're not fully convinced, it's your ego that's stopping you. Your ego is convincing you that you wouldn't experience much benefits from this because you went on a walk or a run 2 weeks ago. And so you're like, oh no, I've been exploring and it didn't even do much for me because there was that one time 3 months ago that I took a picture of the sunlight and it wasn't that nice. Well, your ego's going to stop you. What you need is humility. Humility is like the opposite of ego, where you think, oh, you know what? I probably could benefit from that because my life isn't perfect right now. And, Hamza seems like someone I might trust and I might, I've liked his stuff so far. So if, he seems similar to me, and if he's saying that this was such a big difference and he's not trying to sell me anything, he's not, saying, oh, go on adventures, buy my $400 course to go on an adventure. He's literally just telling me the advice to go on a run outside and just like go see nice places and take pictures. If he's telling me that this was such a big improvement to his life, maybe I should go and try it, because I feel like I've tried it before, but obviously like maybe I just didn't do it as consistently, because he's saying that he does it almost like a couple times a week at least, and then he goes on big trips every like couple of weeks. So that's probably what would make him so happy and attractive to these girls and give him some confidence and give him something to look forward to. And you know what, I think I'd like something to look forward to too. I hope that you could think like that, because it's so nice having something like this just booked in, knowing that tomorrow you're going to take a little trip, you're going to go on like some adventure. I look forward every single day to my daily walk. And again, my walk isn't just a walk. I literally just start running to some random places and taking pictures and just enjoying myself. Acting like an adventurer, acting like one of our ancestors, like our early ancestors, that's what makes you feel like a human. This shit of like just being addicted to the dopamine of just sitting on the computer and being on social media and video games, it doesn't make you feel like a human. Technically, it's kind of more stimulating today, like right now. But the moment you get out and you get that burst of happiness, of like mindfulness, and you speak to a stranger, you completely forget that something like video games and social media is even a thing. And it almost baffles you how people would rather stay inside rather than go outside and actually live life. And bringing it just finally, the last point is, it probably seems a little offensive what I said about mental health. And if it does, that's your ego. I know that I keep saying ego's your problem and your ego is not going to let you believe that your mental health would so easily be improved by just simple things like exercise and exploring and journaling and meditating. And that's why you won't improve it. That's why you're going to the fucking doctor about it. That's why it hasn't improved significantly, because you're not allowing the things that would improve it to improve it. Those are the things. It's only a few things. And if you haven't been doing them every single day, that is why you have symptoms of depression. That's exactly why I had it. I wasn't doing this stuff. I wasn't meditating. I wasn't looking after my mental health. I wasn't exploring anywhere new. I was taking drugs every single day. I was smoking weed every day. I was eating junk food every day. And then I was just staying inside, just bored. Like when you're living such an unfulfilling life, when you're just watching the screen, you don't feel like a real healthy human. Stop treating yourself like that and go and just keep the same mindset that I have, that hopefully you could just drill into you, even though it's a separate video. Drill in that mindset of like the caveman, the early adventurer, the early, you probably know what I'm talking about, the early tribesman, ancestor, human stuff. Whatever they were doing was a lot better than what we do. The way that they eat, the way that, for example, they would fast and they would eat once a big meal every day, for example, instead of eating like 3 small meals full of sugar every single day. The way that they'd be outside in the sun, getting the vitamin D, having lots of sex, living in like a tribe with clear leaders and ranks and, ability to level up. None of them, not a single one of them was ever just sitting down 8 hours a day, just mouth breathing whilst like just indulging in the internet and stuff. That's why we feel so bad. I hope that can help you. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Ooh, I'm tired, bro.